Hello, my name's Chloe, and I'm a 30-year-old cishet woman. I wish I could go back in time and tell 13-year-old Chloe, and basically any little girl, that dreaming of a Prince Charming and an overall picture-perfect marriage with great in-laws is a waste of time. Because let me tell you, it really hit me like a truck. My mother-in-law, Emma, and my husband, Noah, made sure to give me that rude awakening. It all began when Noah and I said our I do's. I had this vision of our families blending smoothly like something straight out of a fairy tale. Oh boy, was I in for a surprise. Little did I know that Emma and Noah would team up to become the dynamic duo of toxicity, always testing my patience and sanity. Right from the start, it was clear as day that Emma, my nightmare of a mother-in-law, was going to be a constant pain in the neck. Me, I avoid drama like it's the plague, so I tried my best to keep things peaceful and make it work. But let me tell you, Emma had a special talent for pushing all my buttons. Man, let me tell you, dealing with her was like walking on eggshells all the time. I never knew when she'd unleash her disapproval on me. I tried everything to win her over, going out of my way to get her thoughtful gifts, hoping it'd bring us closer. But instead of softening her heart, it seemed to make her even more hostile. I still remember her snide remarks tearing down my efforts and making it clear she wanted nothing to do with me, not even if I had the cure for cancer. Her rejection hit me like a ton of bricks each time. It wasn't just the mean words she said, it was the fact that Noah, my own husband, didn't do much to stand up for me. He was stuck in this loop of trying to please his mother, leaving me to fend for myself. It was like a 1-2 punch, dealing with Emma's toxic behavior and Noah's indifference, lack of intervention. I felt so alone in my own marriage, like my voice didn't matter at all in our relationship. I carried the weight of Emma's disapproval on my shoulders every step of the way. It was like a nagging voice in my head just piling onto my anxiety. I ended up always questioning my worth, and it made me feel sick. The toll it took on my mental and emotional well-being was undeniable. All I wanted was a loving and peaceful family dynamic where we could all accept and understand each other, but it felt like an impossible dream in reality. Little did I know life was about to take a wild turn I never saw coming. What happened next was going to challenge me, empower me, and take me on a journey of self-discovery and happiness. But hold on tight, 'cause this ride's going to be a roller coaster full of surprises. Feeling the weight of Emma's disapproval on my shoulders, I knew I had to deal with this elephant in the room. So I gathered up my courage and decided to host a brunch at my place. I wanted to create a safe space to tackle all the underlying issues that had been causing trouble for way too long. When Emma showed up, she gave my home this critical once-over, finding faults in every little thing. Oh, I see you've redecorated again. It looks like dog crap. Aren't you embarrassed? I know I would be. I gotta tell you, I tried my best to keep calm and focus on what really mattered. It was time to gather my courage and get to the heart of the matter. So with my voice shaking, I politely confronted Emma and asked her straight up what her problem was. I was hoping for an honest talk, but boy, was I in for a surprise. As soon as I asked, Emma's face twisted with anger. She exploded like a volcano, throwing insults and shouting at me with a tone that would make the devil himself squirm. Her words hit me like a slap. Not only did she attack my character, but she also spat on my dreams and belittled everything I tried to do. It hurt so bad, and I couldn't hold back the tears anymore. At that moment, I realized that confronting Emma would only ever make things worse. Her intentions weren't about resolving anything. They were all about her insecurities and need to control everything. It was a tough truth to face. It shattered my hopes of having a happy, smooth relationship. If this was some random girl I was friends with, best believe I would have cut her off a long time ago. But this was my mother-in-law. There was no escaping this. I just couldn't take it anymore. I had to get away from that emotional assault. So I excused myself from the table, tears streaming down my face. Emma's words kept echoing in my head, just dampening the mood entirely. In that vulnerable moment, I couldn't help but wonder if anything could ever bridge the gap between us. I had no clue that hitting that breaking point would trigger such a huge change within me. From feeling down in the dumps, a newfound strength started to grow. I was dead set on rewriting this story, reclaiming my self-worth, and finding a path that embraced who I really am. After that terrible incident, I made sure to steer clear of any unnecessary run-ins with Emma. I thought maybe if I kept my distance, we could avoid another blowout. But no matter what I did, Emma was hell-bent on keeping her toxic behavior going, even from afar. She started bombarding me with these awful text messages, each one meant to tear me down further. And let me tell you, even though I was set on becoming a stronger person, those insults really got to me. I couldn't just shake them off, especially not overnight. The stress and anxiety they caused were eating me up, and it felt like I was stuck in some never-ending nightmare. I was desperate for support, so I turned to Noah, hoping he'd have my back. I poured my heart out, telling him all about Emma's relentless attacks and how they were messing with my head. But man, his response was not what I expected. Noah pretty much brushed off my concerns, acting like they were no big deal. He just said to ignore it and not let it bother me. It was like he couldn't understand the emotional toll it was taking on me. Feeling like he didn't get me at all left me even more hurt and alone. It felt like I was fighting this battle all on my own. Come on, Chloe, you're so sensitive. I know my mom can say some less than nice things, but seriously, you should grow a backbone. He acted like my feelings were no big deal, and it hurt so much. I thought he'd support me, but instead he just undermined what I was going through. I felt so alone and frustrated. We got into this huge argument about it. I tried explaining how much Emma's behavior was messing with me, but he couldn't take it seriously. He kept telling me to just brush it off and not make a fuss. I even told him that dealing with his mom's constant attacks had pushed me to the point of needing anxiety meds again. But he didn't seem to get it. To make matters worse, he even threatened to leave me if I couldn't handle his mother. It was like a stab to the heart, playing on my fear of being alone. I felt stuck in this toxic cycle where my well-being was sacrificed just to keep the peace in our relationship. Months dragged on, and I was still silently putting up with Emma's toxic behavior while Noah turned a blind eye. It was exhausting and emotionally draining, and I felt so isolated. But then, one day, as I was cleaning the house, I stumbled upon something that changed everything. I found a list of debts that Emma had piled up over time, and it hit me that maybe paying off her debts could be a way to finally bridge the gap between us and find some peace. It was a risky move, but I was ready to try anything to mend our relationship. Excited about the idea, I went to Noah and told him my plan. I hoped he would understand where I was coming from, but he said something that stepped on that budding hope. Chloe, it's already been taken care of. My aunt stepped in and paid off the debts. Well, at least she said she would. Oh, I see. I just wanted to help, Noah. I thought this could be an opportunity to show your mom that I'm willing to go the extra mile. Maybe I can get her a spa day voucher or something. Chloe, it's not necessary. You always try to do things your way, thinking money can solve everything. Just drop it, okay? She doesn't need your help. But Noah, it's not just about the money. It's about showing compassion and trying to build my relationship with your mom. I just wanted to make things right. Can't you understand? It's not going to change anything. This constant need to fix things, it's driving me crazy. Weren't you the one talking about the anxiety my mom gives you? Doing something like that would definitely send her over the edge. God, it's like you want her to hate you. Feeling defeated, I decided to let it go. knowing I didn't need another showdown with Cruella Devil. But man, I couldn't have imagined what was about to go down after that chat with Noah. The very next day, Emma barged into the living room like a tornado on a rampage. She was furious, launching into a full-on verbal attack, convinced I was the one behind the mysterious payoff of her debts. I was sitting there frozen in the living room, anxiety churning in my gut as Emma burst through the front door. The fire in her eyes was impossible to miss, and it was all aimed right at me, because I couldn't even say a word. She unleashed this relentless fury of accusations. So, you paid off my debts, huh? Who do you think you are, meddling in my affairs? You think you're Bill Gates or something? I never wanted a penny from you. Confused, I began to explain myself, but she wouldn't let me speak. Don't try and defend yourself now. You think I'm stupid? Noah sent me a text last night saying she paid off all of your debts. I knew it was you because you always had a knack for doing crap like this, but I've had enough of you. Noah then appeared in the doorway, startled by the commotion, and asked what was happening. His face showed a mix of confusion and concern. What's going on here? Why are you so upset, Mom? She was shaking with rage. I thought the vein in her forehead was about to pop. Your wife here thinks she can play savior and pay off my debts without my consent. I won't tolerate this blatant disrespect. She thinks I'm some charity case? Well, she's got another thing coming. I tried to speak, to defend myself, but Emma wouldn't hear any of it. Divorce her now, Noah. She's nothing but trouble. I won't have her meddling in our family affairs and ruining our lives any longer. Tears streamed down my face as Emma's words cut deep into my already wounded heart. Noah face-palmed, clearly frustrated with the situation. Mom, calm down. I should have been clearer. I'm sorry. Let me explain. Emma didn't even bat an eye at Noah's desperate pleas. She was completely consumed by rage and went on a rampage, smashing anything in the path. The whole situation felt so melodramatic and overwhelming. Right then and there, it hit me hard. No matter how hard I tried to fix things, Emma's deep-seated hatred for me seemed impossible to overcome. The toxicity in that family ran deep, and I felt totally powerless to change it. But amid the chaos, I saw Noah spring into action. He was trying to physically restrain his mother, desperate to get her attention and make her listen. Mom, listen to me. I didn't mean Chloe paid off your debts. It was Aunt Judy who offered to help. I thought you already knew it was her because we had talked about it earlier, remember? Oh, but I just received a text from her. She mentioned that an unexpected expense came up and it will take more time for the money to come through. As Noah's words sunk in, I noticed Emma's tense body language start to relax, and a hint of realization crossed her face. It was obvious she had jumped to conclusions, but her stubborn pride kept her from offering an apology. Instead, she was dead set on finding some other way to shift the blame onto me. Well, if it wasn't you, then why didn't you say that? As I realized Emma's complete disregard for my emotions, sadness quickly turned into anger boiling within me. And to top it all off, there was my favorite vase, a precious keepsake from my late grandmother, shattered into pieces on the floor. You've crossed the line, Emma. That vase was from my grandma, and you've destroyed it. What is wrong with you? Emma must have sensed that her usual strategy of just attacking everything wasn't going to work this time. She tried to switch gears and started showering me with sweet talk, hoping to win me over and get me to still help her out. But there was no way I was letting her off the hook that easily. Chloe, listen, we can find a way to fix this. Please, just hear me out. I was so angry, and all I could see was the mess Emma had created. My voice trembled as I tried to stay determined. No, Emma, I've had enough. I'm calling the police. This has gone too far, and I refuse to be treated like this any longer. My heart was racing as I grabbed the phone, feeling both determined and scared. The room felt heavy with tension, and our shattered relationship was weighing us down. With my hand shaking, I dialed 911, knowing it was the only way to stop the chaos that had taken over our once peaceful home. Noah and Emma tried to talk me out of it, their pleas ringing in my ears, but I knew there was no going back now. I had made up my mind, and I was set on finding safety and peace. Hello. There are people in my house causing a disturbance and distress. I need them to be removed from the property immediately. As I told the authorities what was happening, Emma tried to act all sweet and innocent, attempting to regain control of the situation, but it was so fake. Chloe, please, let's talk this through. I know you have the means to help me out of this predicament. Think about how it would benefit both of us. Emma, I gotta be real with you. I can see how desperate you are, but I'm not going to give you a single dime. You've treated me like garbage and caused so much hurt. And now, all of a sudden, you want my help because you're desperate? Nah, that isn't how it works. Remember how you wouldn't even look my way before? Now you think it's cool to waltz into my house and wreck my stuff? You've got some serious issues, and it's high time you face the music for what you've done. Professional help might be a good idea for you. You can't just get away with everything. Consequences are coming your way. Noah interjected, his frustration mounting as he sided with his mother. Chloe, you're being unreasonable. Can't you just see how much stress this is causing everyone? Just give her the money and let's move on. And call off the police, too. That was so uncalled for. Unreasonable? Noah, you are such a dirtbag. You only care about yourself and you always disregard my feelings. I won't allow myself to be manipulated any longer. And yeah, I might have wanted to help your good-for-nothing mother once upon a time, but I see now how foolish it was for me to even hold her in such a regard. That room was like a pressure cooker. I kept on yelling at Emma and Noah to get out. You could cut the tension with a knife, and it was clear that our relationship was in pieces. Noah was begging me to back down, promising that he would start listening to me and that things would get better between us, but I couldn't ignore the truth. It was too late for that. Noah's desperation was boiling over, and he was getting more and more worked up and aggressive, wanting to intimidate me into submission. It scared the hell out of me, and I knew I had to get out of there before things got even uglier. So without thinking twice, I ran for it, just wanting to be safe until the police arrived. As I dashed away, my neighbors started coming out, curious and concerned about all the noise. One of them asked me what was going on, as they'd heard the commotion from their homes. It felt like a lifeline knowing they were there to support me through this chaotic mess. Please, you have to understand, my husband and mother-in-law have made me fear for my safety. She's been aggressive and destructive. I've already called the police. Don't worry, Chloe. We've got your back. We heard everything. They need to be held accountable for their actions. Absolutely. We'll tell the police everything we witnessed. You shouldn't have to endure this kind of treatment. It happened so fast. And then suddenly those flashing police car lights lit up the whole street. I felt a mix of relief and nervousness knowing help was on the way. The officers arrived quickly and started asking questions, paying close attention as my neighbors and I spilled the beans about everything that went down. It was like giving them a full rundown of the whole situation. Having the police there brought a sense of order to the crazy scene in my house. Their professionalism and authority gave me a bit of hope that things might finally be handled properly, and that I could finally get the safety and peace of mind I was desperately seeking. Ma'am, we're here to ensure your safety. If you're comfortable, could you provide us with a statement about what transpired? Of course, officer. I just want to feel safe in my own home. They've caused so much distress, and I can't live like this anymore. So there I was, spilling all the juicy details to the police officers, and let me tell you, they were fully tuned in. Their expressions turned all serious as I shared what had gone down, and it felt good to know they were taking me seriously. It was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. Before you knew it, the cops marched over to Noah and Emma, and they weren't messing around. They gave them a stern warning and told them to cooperate and come along peacefully to the police vehicles waiting outside. It was like a scene straight out of a movie, and I couldn't help but feel a sense of justice finally being served. Chloe, please call off the police. We can work this out. It's too late for that, Noah. I've endured enough. It's time for the law to intervene. My neighbors were there for me, supporting and encouraging my decision, and even urging the police to take action. It meant a lot to have their solidarity and care during such a tough time. With their support, I felt stronger and more determined than ever. After cutting ties with Noah and Emma, I finally felt a sense of relief. Their toxic influence was gone, and I could breathe freely again. Each day felt brighter, filled with a newfound peace that I hadn't experienced in a long time. No more living in fear and uncertainty. It was my chance to rebuild, heal, and create a life that was truly mine. News spread quickly in the neighborhood, confirming my suspicions. Emma's financial situation took a hit, and her home got repossessed because of Aunt Judy's broken promise. It was a clear reflection of the destructive path she chose. Despite the turmoil, Emma still tried to reach out to me, maybe seeking help. But I knew better than to fall for it. I took legal measures to protect myself and got a restraining order against her, ensuring my safety and peace of mind. As time went on, I focused on my healing journey. Therapy became a vital tool in rebuilding my self-esteem and finding my voice again. Supported by friends and neighbors who stuck by me, I rediscovered my strength and resilience. The unexpected benefit was that my anxiety decreased significantly. Noah and Emma's toxic presence no longer weighed me down, allowing me to reclaim my inner peace. I started thriving, pursuing my passions and dreams with a newfound energy. Gone were the days of living in fear. I embraced my true self, valuing my worth and refusing to settle for anything less than love and respect. The healing journey wasn't over, but I celebrated the progress I had made. Life continued, and I welcomed new opportunities surrounded by genuine connections and the sense of belonging. The scars of the past began to fade, and I grew stronger, knowing that I had survived and come out wiser on the other side.